What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Matthias Fancast. I'm your host, Noah, and today we have a new series called The Life of Matthias. This is a 10-week series where we'll be talking about the full life of Matthias, going through each year, starting off with this episode, which will be the beginning of Matthias' life to 2011. Then next week will be 2011, and so on and so forth. So let's get into it. So starting off, Matthias Frederick was born in Woodland Hills, California on September 20th, 1988. He has an older sister, Sarah, and a younger brother, J. Fred. His parents are Ted and Katie Frederick. So when he was a kid, he loved Legos. I think every kid loved Legos when they were a kid. I did. He went into kindergarten a year later than he should have because his mom wanted more time with him. I see where his mom's coming from, definitely. But when he was 5, he met one of his good friends, T. Spence. He was on Team Edge once. We haven't seen him in a while, so they could still be talking. I don't know. They'd hang out all the time. They would camp outside. They would go to thrift stores and pick out a bunch of basketball jerseys and pretend they were those basketball players with J. Fred, his younger brother. Then, when he was 11, T. Spence moved away, over 900 miles away to be exact. So and that's when Matt started not to play sports anymore. He just didn't feel it anymore when he moved away. Then at the age of 12, him and his family moved to Orlando because his dad was an Imagineer at Disney, actually. So they moved there and stayed there for a full year, and they could go to Disney whenever they wanted to. That's pretty cool. I think every kid would want that. So a year later, when Matt was 13, him and his family took a whole month, took a full cross-country road trip when they moved back to California. In 9th grade, he started to make videos, but stopped because no one was really interested in doing that kind of things. He made 15 videos, and we did see some of them with him and J. Fred in it when they reacted to it. In 10th grade, he joined a band and was the lead singer, and when they did performances, he just made up all the words on spot, which I gotta give him props for that. Even though it probably wasn't the best, I could never do that. I would be just sitting there and I'd just be quiet the whole time because I wouldn't know what to say. And then one day, when he was in PE, he saw his future wife Amanda, and he was super excited to go to PE, not to play sports, just to see Amanda. He then met Michael Badal, and they both shared that passion for music that Matthias, had. And Michael Badal introduced him to Apple computers at the time, and Matt was super happy because he could write and make his own music all by himself using the computer. So in 11th grade, he and Michael Badal wrote a 14-song album called Where We Should Be, by The Social. That's what Matthias went by then. And you can find it on Spotify, iTunes, everywhere. I've listened to them. It's actually pretty gas. It's really good. If not, link in the description below to the Spotify. It's super good. Surprisingly good. So then, once they came out with that, people actually wanted to join Matt and Michael in their band. Michael played the drums. Matt was the lead singer. And then they started to do live performances, and Matt was super happy because people actually knew the words to the songs. But yeah. So then Matt got a job at a local drugstore, as I think a lot of people know from watching the Matthias channel lately, and he got his first car. Then Matt decided to ask Amanda to be his girlfriend, and she said yes. As we all know, they are married now. So then on their first date, Matt accidentally gave the waiter an extra $20, and then the waiter asked for change, and Matt thought it was just a couple coins, and he said keep it. So that waiter got a $20 tip, which if I was waiters, I got a $20 tip, I'd be pretty stoked. Then Matt made film so he went to community college, and Matt made a film, and it won Best Cinematography, and Vimeo, as a lot of people know, it's a video company, featured it on their homepage, actually, which is super surprising, like super crazy. I would be stoked if that happened. He then took Amanda to a deserted beach and proposed to her. Yeah. So then Matt transferred to CSUN College and was one of 4 students to direct a thesis film. They got $30,000 to produce and make it, which is just crazy. That's a lot for something like that. Like, if I had that, I'd be super stoked to make something. He then met Alex, the Jewel Thief, which is another YouTuber, and they became very good friends. And then, beginning of Matthias' YouTube career, he was actually laid off at the drugstore he was working at, and that is when he decided to start his own YouTube channel. So yeah, that is the beginning life of Matthias. This is definitely going to be a short episode because I got all this stuff from Matthias' Draw My Life and from the High Five Studios wiki. Link in the description to the wiki and the Draw My Life if you want to go check those out. Don't forget, next week we have week 1, 2011 of the Life of Matthias, where we'll be going through each video. I will be ranking my favorite ones from 2011 and just talking about different things that have happened. This was definitely a shorter one, but hopefully, as Matthias' YouTube career goes on, these will be longer episodes. And if you're not, go subscribe, hit that bell notification. It's free, and you can always unsubscribe if you want, but it would greatly appreciate it if you did. But yeah, that is that for this episode. Thank you all for watching, and don't forget, you were chosen.